Good evening and welcome to Tarot Thursday. I am your host, Reverend Mary Hawk, and thank you everyone for joining me for this edition of Tarot Thursday. And unfortunately, my guest this evening, Reverend Alyssa, had an emergency and she is not able to join me. So I am on my own this evening. So, welcome to everyone who's coming in. If you've got a question for me, go ahead and post it in chat. Or if you don't have a question, just say hello and tell me where you're from. And I do want to thank everyone for all the birthday messages today. I really appreciate them. Hello, Tina. It's good to see you. Hope you've had a good day today. It's been kind of a interesting day in Tennessee. Nice and sunny, then kind of stormy, and then it calmed down again. And hello to everyone coming in. Hey, Renee, good to see you. And Renee says hello from Illinois. Like I don't know Renee is in Illinois. So if you've got a question, go ahead and post it for me in the chat. And Tina says it's rainy and cold in Buffalo, New York. Yeah, that sounds about right for April in Buffalo. And at least it's warmer here in Nashville. It's 56, so at least it's not cold. Maybe we're over the cold weather. And I will go ahead and announce that I will not be here next Thursday. Reverend Brian will be hosting. I will be at Cauldron Fest, which is an up and coming festival here in Tennessee. And hello to Fernanda in Brazil. Good to see you. And Tina wants to know, is my business going to make it through this tough transition? I will be happy to do a reading for you on that, Tina. Yes, I'm looking forward to Cauldron Fest, Tina. I will be doing readings there. But it is being held at a state park and internet is iffy, so I don't expect to have enough bandwidth to be able to do Tarot Thursday from Cauldron Fest. So Reverend Brian will be hosting for me. Okay, let's see what we've got for Tina. All right, so before I show you the first card, I have to explain a little bit about the deck I'm using, the Infinite Tarot. When Reverend Dawn did the Kickstarter for this deck, one of the options was to have a personal card done. And my good friend Fluffy commissioned this card, the Fluffy. So as you can see, it's a wolf. It's The wolf is missing a foot. Fluffy had just had to have one of his feet amputated. As you can see, the wolf is still wearing a medical armband here. And this card is all about transformation. It's about taking a not so good situation and using your magic to transform it into something positive. And Fluffy used a situation that a lot of people would see as very negative, and he totally transformed his life through it. Now, the next card I've got is the Prince of Lamps. Lamps is the suit of spirituality and magic in this deck. You can see that the prince has got wires wrapped around himself. He seems to be eating or drinking something that doesn't taste so good. He's the sort of ascetic that believes in spiritual development from mortification of the body. And when this card comes up, it means that something you want is not good for you. Something you're striving for is just not what you need. So take that into account. And finally, I've got the Princess of Cups. And this card represents, uh, excuse me, emotions are water. The princesses represent earth. So here we've got emotions kind of held in place by earth. So be sure you are expressing clearly what you want in this situation, Tina. And let's see here. Swack Fan has asked for a reading for the month ahead for career and finances and relationship. Reverend Brian says, Happy birthday, Mary, and asks for a general. And Tina says, That's great. I think that's about the fluffy card. And Fernando wants a reading. So, all right. So, Swack Fan, then Brian, and then Fernanda. Okay. And you are very welcome, Tina. She says, Thank you, Lady Hawk. That is one of my favorite movies of all times, is Lady Hawk. Came out when I was in high school. Okay, so this one is for Swack Fan. And hey, Michael, how are you? Good to see you. Hi, Nyoka. Says good evening, folks. I'm open to have a reading if you have time. I do. There are 3 people ahead of you, I think. All right, Swag fans. So, the first card I've got for you is the Empress. And the Empress represents abundance, fertility. It's a very fortunate card. I have the Four of Pentacles, which represents having enough in the material realm and being able to share with others. And then I have the Three of Cups, which shows celebrating with friends. So I'm going to say that the next few months are looking very good for you. Uh, the Empress is showing a lot of loving, nurturing energy around you. The Four of Cups, I'm sorry, the Four of Pentacles shows things are going well for you in the financial realm. And the Three of Cups just indicates you will have a lot to celebrate with. So I hope you find that helpful. And then next up, we will do a general reading for Brian. I hope you are still enjoying your week off, Brian. And I'm now waiting for Fluffy to pop in because I pulled his card. So I have officially summoned him. So he should be popping into the chat room any minute now. All right, Brian, the first card I've got for you is the Two of Swords. This indicates working together with someone, and I usually read this card as an alliance, like a business partnership, rather than a friendship necessarily. And hello to Magical Mermaid. And you're welcome, Swag Fan. And for Brian, your next card is Judgment. So you are going to get the reward of something you have been working towards for a long time, something that you've earned, something that is due to you. And it's going to come up to you fairly soon, I think. And finally, I've got the Six of Swords. This indicates some sort of a journey, but in your case, I'm feeling more of a spiritual or personal journey. And I think it's tied to the Judgment card rather than a physical trip. So I hope you find that helpful. Alrighty. And now we are up to Fernanda. So I will do a reading for you. What do you all think? Should I get some sort of card shuffle sound effect to play while I'm shuffling? Okay, Fernanda, the first card I've got for you is the Six of Wands. Now, this represents getting something that you have been working towards. In this case, the young man in the picture has married the queen, been crowned king. Then the next card, and I have been shuffling, I pulled the fluffy again. So this is still all about taking a negative experience and transmuting that energy into something positive. And finally, I have got the death card. And this does not mean literal death. This means transformation. So this means, especially paired with the fluffy card, this means going through some sort of experience that is going to significantly change your life. And it may not be very pleasant while you're going through it. But once you come out on the other end of it, you're going to find that everything was worth it. So I hope you find that helpful. And just a minute here. All right. And next up, we're going to do a reading for Nyoka. And then Reverend Michael asked for a reading, so Michael is next. And you're welcome, Nyoka. I hope I'm saying your name right. And Fernanda says it's happening now. I just started a course and everything is new for me. Thank you for the reading. You're very welcome. Yes. Okay. So the first card I've got for you, Nyoka, is the Six of Cups. And this is talking about relationships, as a lot of the Cups cards do. And this means that someone from your past, could be a friend, could be a love interest, maybe coming back into your life. And when they do, you need to evaluate, is this someone you want to come back into your life? And how you want to handle that. The next card I've got for you is the Queen of Lamps. The deck I'm working with has 5 suits instead of 4, and Lamps deals with spirituality and magic. And the Queen tells us that in our current situation, we need to deal with our existing conditions to move our ideas forward. You need to work with the conditions that exist, with the relationships you have to move forward in your situation. And finally, I've got the Prince of Cups for you. And the Prince of Cups is telling you to be very careful in how you are communicating right now, and being sure that you are communicating your emotions clearly. So I hope that helps you. Hey, Felicia, good to see you. I have got one person ahead of you, and then I'll get your reading. Alrighty, and next up is Michael. And then after I do Felicia's reading, we are going to pause for a minute for a word from our sponsor. And Fernanda says it took me a long time to come out of depression and I finally got myself together. I'm glad to hear that, Fernanda, and I will tell you, I have clinical depression. I was diagnosed in my early 20s and I have to take meds every day. Nyoka says, thank you. It does very much help. Blessed be. Hi, Maggie. I have got two people ahead of you, and then a commercial break, and then I'll be happy to do your reading. So this one is for Michael. Okay, so, and I shuffled and shuffled. You saw me, but Michael, the first card I've got is the Prince of Cups. So be careful communicating around your emotions. Be sure you make yourself clear. The next card I've got is the Seven of Wands. And this says that you're dealing with a situation that requires careful planning in order for you to succeed. And I've also got the body. And here we've got a picture of Gaia, the ensouled earth, and it's talking about the interconnectedness of everything. And it's saying that as you move forward, be careful what you do because everything is interconnected, that one thing you do can have unintended consequences. So I'm going to pull another card. And I've got the Seven of Pentacles, which indicates you have many good choices in front of you. So I'm going to pull one more. And I've got the King of Pentacles, which does suggest you have the resources to move forward with careful planning. So, yes, you can do what you want to do, but you do need to plan carefully. So I hope that's helpful, Michael. And then our next reading is going to be for Felicia. Let me get shuffled up here. All right, Felicia. So the first card I've got for you is the Ten of Wands. And this indicates a situation whose time is almost ready to move on, but not quite. So if you've been feeling stuck, that's why. The next card I've got is the Two of Cups. This indicates a new relationship or some kind of change in an existing relationship. It could be a romantic relationship or it could be a friendship. And then finally, I've got for you the Queen of Wands. And this is indicates being in a good position. Wands are around passions and the things that we are passionate about. So this is about being in a good position in terms of the things in this world that you want to accomplish. You are moving forward with them. So I hope you find this helpful, Felicia. And now we are going to pause for just a minute for a word from our sponsors because we love our sponsors. We do have expenses with Corellian TV and Divination TV. So we need our sponsors. And Maggie, when I come back, you will be next.
Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from the beautiful metaverse, and I would like to invite you to my Don art showing and auction on Friday, May 9th, with original pieces and prints of my artwork and other interesting items with the auction at 5 p.m. on Whatnot. And please stay tuned for more announcements and examples of art that will be coming. Thank you.
And thank you to Equinox Learning Hub and Reverend Don's Auctions. Okay. Good night, Fernanda. Thank you for joining us. All righty. And I'm reading over everything you've written here, Maggie. I tell you what, let's start out with a reading about would it be a good idea if she were to voluntarily, if she should take the voluntary buyout from her job? Let's ask that question. So the first card I've got is the Six of Lamps. And the Six of Lamps says that things will be made clear shortly. I've got the Five of Swords, which means that there is a lot of change and chaos going on, which you did explain about that she was going through a divorce. And I also have Judgment, which means that she will be getting the something that she has worked for and deserves. So with the Judgment card especially, I feel like that she would be getting the payout through September if she voluntarily quit. The obvious thing to do is to not quit without something signed in writing, though. So she definitely should not quit expecting to be paid through September unless she gets something signed in writing, but that looks good. And since no one else has asked for a question, I will do a reading as well around the progress on selling her home and finding an apartment, which just a minute here. Okay, well, I've got the Seven of Wands, which indicates that it could be difficult, but it can be done with careful planning. I have the Tower, which indicates this is going to be a time of complete transformation for her. And I also have the Ace of Wands, which is talking about coming to the situation with a lot of passion to bring things to a successful conclusion. So, yes, she can do it. She's going to have to plan it carefully, but she can do it successfully, Maggie. And I certainly send her all my best because I have been through a divorce myself. It's not easy. And yes, Renee, we can do a general reading for you. Just a moment. Hi, Chris. You said, is this for real? Am I really doing tarot readings? Yes. If you post a question in the chat, I will do a tarot. Is tarot for real? Yes, tarot is real. I'm not sure how else to interpret your question. Okay, Renee. Well, the first card I've got for you is the Sun. So, the Sun is a card of good fortune. Happy endings. So, things certainly look good for you in the near term. And the next card I've got is the Queen of Swords. Yes, it's me. When Reverend Don did the Kickstarter for the Infinite Tarot, one of the options was to commission a card. And since the Queen of Swords has been representing me for 30 years, I asked him to draw me as the Queen of Swords. Um, so the Queen of Swords represents swords being communication. It also represents looking at what has worked for you in your situation in the past and similar situations, what didn't work, move forward based on that. And I've got the lamp four of lamps for you, and that says that you do need to focus on learning more about your current situation, or maybe you need to learn a new skill in your current situation. And hello, Anissa. Yes, I'm flying solo tonight. Reverend Alyssa was supposed to read with me, but she had an emergency and couldn't do so. So here I am all by myself. But that's okay. And does anybody else have a question for me? And Anissa says, Happy birthday, goat turquoise white horns. Yes, I am an Aries. Maggie says, Thank you. I've been worried for her divorce. I'm less worried about her job, where she's worked almost 8 years. Okay. I'm glad I could give you some peace of mind, Maggie. You are welcome, Renee. All right. Does anybody else have a question? Because if we don't have a question, and I'm starting to get hoarse again, I will go ahead and close up early. As I said, I will be out of town next weekend. Okay, Maggie, or next Thursday, but Reverend Brian will be here. and I will do a reading for Maggie. Okay, Maggie, let's see what we've got for you. So the first card I've got for you is the Ten of Pentacles. So this indicates you're in a good position in the material realm. You should have all the resources you need to move forward right now. I've got the Queen of Lamps. So this indicates that you need to be working with the people you know in the situations you've already got to move forward with any projects. And I've got the King of Wands, which indicates that the projects you are passionate about, you're going to be successful with. So overall, that is a very fortunate reading for you, Maggie. So things are looking very good for you, mi hermana. And hello to Lunar Face, who wants to know if she will get the job she recently applied for. Okay. Just a moment here while I get shuffled up. You are very welcome, Maggie. Hey, Anissa, who says my slow phone. No, I don't guess we're going to get fluffy tonight. Because I think this is going to be it after Lunar Phase's reading. I am starting to get very hoarse here. All right, so we have got a lot of energy in this reading. So I've got the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands, with the aces of both suits being the archetype of the suit. Cups being around emotions, wands being around passion. So you've got a lot of emotion and passion in this reading. And then I've got the Chariot, meaning you are going places. So, yes, I really see you getting this job because there is just so much passion, emotion, and movement here. So be on the lookout for some good news around that job lunar phase. Ah, Nisa's on the road. She says, go the humorous route and play every day I'm shuffling. All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining me for Tarot Thursday Birthday Edition. And Reverend Brian will be your host next week while I am at Cauldron Fest, where I'm just not going to have enough bandwidth to go live, but I will post some pictures when I get back. So, everyone, have a wonderful evening and blessed be.